Living in Norwich sleep better than anywhere else in the country. Researchers who questioned 3,000 people found those in Norwich slept an average of 6 hours 38 minutes a night. That's over half an hour more than the average and an hour longer than people living in Chelmsford. Now we've got some naked news reading coming up.
Oh, there's a tease.
But first, he's our equivalent of Boris Johnson. But do you know what the only elected mayor in the east of England actually does?
Well, Dave Hodgson has been the mayor of Bedford for nearly 5 months. He was voted in by the public following the death of Frank Branston. Kate Prout has spent the day with him to see what the job really entails.
Bedford, a market town since the Middle Ages, home to the famous embankment, one of the most diverse populations in the country, and our region's only elected mayor, Dave Hodgson. So is he as recognisable as his London counterpart? We took to the streets of Bedford to find out. Can I ask you whether you recognise that person?
Yes, it's the mayor, David Hodgson.
Can I ask you who that is?
That is our Mr Mayor.
What's his name?
Dave Hodgson.
Well done.
Yes, Hodgson.
Hodgson, can we ask you, do you know who that is?
No.
Can we ask, do you know who this man is?
No.
Would that help?
Oh, yeah, mayor.
Yeah. Do you know who this is?
I haven't a clue.
Would that help?
Is some mayor?
The traditional mayor is a councillor elected by his or her colleagues for a year. They have no power over council services. Elected mayors are voted for by the public for up to 4 years in office. They lead their council and are responsible for most council services. As Bedford Council is a unitary authority, that includes everything from schools to social services, transport to town centre recycling. With such control and a budget of £360 million to look after, he's already having to make tough decisions.
We've done a budget, 2.3% increase in council tax, more than we wanted. We made £9 million worth of savings, and it's tough times, but there's lots of things we need to look at, but I think it's a good start.
More than 2,000 staff work at the council, and it's his job to know what they all do.
OK, can I take your surname for the report, please?
Visiting the council call centre can help pinpoint the public's main concerns. Civic duties also form part of his daily routine. Opening the newly refurbished Odell Village Hall, Dave has found that he's wearing the chains much more than he thought.
I've seen how important it is to people, and I'm keen that we actually celebrate our history, and people should know about that, and part of the history is a civic mayor.
Dave Hodgson will continue as Mayor of Bedford until 2011, when he hopes to be re-elected for another 4 years. Maybe it's fortunate then that his exhausting schedule leaves little time to reflect on the enormous responsibilities of the job. Kate Prout, Anglia News, Bedford.
Now, it was, of course, Oscars weekend, so perfect timing for a touch of Hollywood glamour to come to Suffolk.
Actors from one of the biggest award-winning blockbusters staged a charity show in Halesworth to raise money for the victims of Haiti's earthquake.
It was organised by Lord of the Rings star Bernard Hill, and one of his co-stars was topping the bill. Claire McGlasson went along to rehearsals.
I'm only guessing, but you probably don't recognise the man warming up on the piano. He's an actor who's played some of Hollywood's biggest roles, but most people don't even know his name.
I'll be walking down the street by myself with my family, and that was that guy. That was the guy who played Gollum, wasn't it? And now it was just recently I heard someone go past me. That was Andy Serkis. Who's Andy Serkis? The guy who played Gollum.
Andy is best known for his roles as Gollum and King Kong, where he used motion sensors to create every move and every expression of the animated characters. His co-star on Lord of the Rings was Bernard Hill, who's organised a series of concerts to raise money for the earthquake victims in Haiti. Andy just one of the celebrity friends he's called on to perform. The venue, Bernard's local theatre, the New Cut Arts Centre in Halesworth in Suffolk.
I just had to do something. I really had to do something. I couldn't walk away. I couldn't turn away this time and hope that somebody else would make a difference, really.
For Andy Serkis, the concert was a chance to bring his latest film role to the stage. He's playing Ian Drury in Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll. So could he see himself as a rock star?
And I think I'm probably trying to eke out the fantasy as long as possible. This is perhaps another example of it, really.
From those celebs who couldn't perform, there's showbiz memorabilia that's going to be auctioned. Every penny raised, providing hope for Haiti. Claire McGlasson, Anglia News, Halesworth in Suffolk.
Glamorous Suffolk.
You can see extended interviews with Bernard Hill and Andy Serkis on our website. That's at itv.com/Anglia. Now, we promised you naked news. Well, Cambridge University students have often found themselves at the centre of controversy over the years. Now, the Centre for Academic Excellence has hit the headlines once again, this time over a new student website.
It's streaming a weekly news bulletin read by naked presenters. Needless to say, it's causing quite a stir. Emma Baker reports.
Cambridge University, an academic seat of excellence, cloaked in history, some might say set in its ways. But every so often, a group of students comes along and challenges that stuffy stereotype.
Welcome to Naked News.
Yes, this is the students' answer to online news, naked.
In sporting news, varsity season is now in full swing.
English student Alana Hutton-Shaw is the brains behind the project. She created the on-screen personas John Tucker and Jane Doe, all to generate publicity for her new student news website.
I was thinking of something that would be fun, something that would be interesting, and something that would really expose Cambridge for being a little bit less serious than it is a lot of the time, and nakedness was the best way to do that.
It certainly achieved the publicity part, making headlines around the world. So where were John and Jane today? Well, they had some tough questions to answer away from the cameras.
One of them has gone home, I think, to face the dreaded parental advice, I'd like to say.
It's not the first time Cambridge students have attracted controversy. In 2008, one featured in a student magazine posing topless on a bridge. And in that same year, another was cautioned by police after taking part in a jelly wrestling fight in one of the colleges. But this latest stunt may just have gone one step further in the publicity stakes.
Well, the bulletin's certainly got around the city, as has news of the presenters' rather risque approach.
I wouldn't put it on my CV, but they may want to. We're all fighting for good things to put on our CV.
No, you do when I'm not here. Well, no, but there's no reason why just because they're at Cambridge they should be behaving like they're just like any other students.
Cambridge can be sexy, but you don't need to get naked in public to do that, especially not to present the news.
But this is just the beginning for Naked News, which we're assured will become a weekly event. So Cambridge students could well be seeing a lot more of Jane and John in the weeks to come.
The naked truth.
Emma Baker, Anglia News, Cambridge.
But not too much more. I was once on student television with very few clothes on, but
Really?
luckily, no tapes exist.
Well, you can see that full naked bulletin on our website. Now here's what to expect on the national news in a couple of minutes.
Time now for the weather. Here's Amanda Houston.
Milder, that's what we want, eh? So this student TV, the tape still exists, do you
It
think?
was a long time ago. They hadn't invented videotape.
I'm going to make it my mission to find it, you know.
Absolutely
That's it from us. See you tomorrow.
Not.